everyone? It's Nothing is Perfect. I'm Russell Holiday, and we are here again for another stream to chat with the people. Have some time to chat about hockey. We're very excited to be here. We're going to have a bunch of stuff going on tonight, so I'll let you guys know what's going on. Let's see. Happy August the 12th. It is the middle of summer. There has been literally no Canucks news for at least a week since last Tuesday when they signed Kravtsov. So we're going to go through and we're going to finish up some of our predictions for next year. So if anyone was here for it, we had the Jake's Takes Hockey and Rev Trev coming on to do an over-under on the top 10 scores for the Vancouver Canucks. So today we're going to finish the list. But getting ahead of myself, as I always do here on Nothing is Perfect. So we're going to start off by saying hello to all you beautiful people who are already blowing up chat. And we'll see how you're all doing out there. And then we're going to go through a list that I made because I know everyone's a little stressed out about Petey and will Pettersson be better. So what I did is I put together a list, and it is the top 25 scorers since 2003 under the age of 26. So the list I will show you, I'll explain it more, but essentially we got the top 25 scorers of the age of under 26. So hopefully I can explain that better in a little bit. And then Dustin Boydell will be here for the Rusty and Dusty Sideshow, and that's where we're going to get into it. We're going to go through all the rest of the Canucks that are on the roster starting next year. And we're going to go through and we're going to make predictions about how they're going to play, how many goals they're going to get, how many assists they're going to get, how many games they're going to play. So that one should be really interesting. So Dustin Boydell will be on for that. And then that'll be it for the night. It's going to probably be about an hour, I'd say, of this, you know. So we'll see how she goes. But let's start off by saying hello to all the beautiful people. And I'm the first one. No, I wasn't the first one. I think Zach was here. Zach McNally, 25, was here earlier, but it has been deleted now. So I know Zach was here first, and then I showed up and said, first stream in a week, let's go. And then Hachiko was here and said, I just got back home from Mexico. What a perfect time for a stream. Woo! Welcome back, Hachiko. Oh no, my membership died. Unhappy face, unhappy face, unhappy face. At least you're number one. Well, Hachiko was number one for a minute. But now he is no longer, because I think somebody took over. And then Chico's like, yay! And then Paragraph Pro Dustin's here and he's like, let's go! And he says, see everyone soon. And then Chico says, Dubby! Dubby! Oh! Chico wanted to give you one of these, Dubby. Are you a good boy? Oh, yes. Was that pretty good? Yeah? Oh, yes. What a sweet boy, huh? Okay. That's enough for now. You can hang out here if you want. Hachiko, answer my messages, damn it, says Era. Welcome, Era. Nice to see you again. For anyone who doesn't remember, Era is Hachiko's friend who came on with him when they were at the LA game. Or was it Anaheim, Dobby? I don't remember. It was either Anaheim or LA. Welcome back, Aaron. Nice to see you. Andrew's in the house. Good evening, you beautiful humans. I hope you're all doing well. I'm doing good, Andrew. How about yourself? Beating the heat today? So did you just subscribe, Era? Obviously. Swervin, why did you steal my number one? Yeah, I feel like... Yeah, Swervin, I know you donated and then it disappeared. Huh. I think my computer's doing weird stuff again. All right, so Swerve and Irvin showed up and donated $6.99 and then has the like nerd smiling. But for some reason it's not showing up. What the heck is up with that? Huh. Where did we lose it? Okay, so that exists. Huh. Or is it lower? Man, there might be some weird... The chat has just been ridiculous lately. What is up with this chat? Okay. I hope chat still works. Okay. Hachiko is out here covering his face. Ha! Go Canucks! Oh, says Rod. Welcome, Rod. Nice to see you. Tuning in from Kamloops, no doubt. And then Hachiko's like, Dobby. Rob him. Hey, says Zach McNally. What's it? Welcome back. Hachiko says, breaking Vancouver trade goalie Thatcher Demko for Vasily Podkolzin. No! That's not what's happening. Blue Jays are 4 wins away from last season's total with 1.5 months to go in the regular season. Lanky 32, welcome. Nice to see you again, Jay. Jay's tank incoming, says Hachiko. Also, second team to reach the 70 win mark this season. So the Jays are still kicking ass, eh? Let's go. I made it. What's the dirt? Just ended. Stream in time for Russ. I also ran out of membership. I need to buy a few cards. Welcome back, Calvin99 Charlie. Nice to see you, buddy. Connor Hill, I am here with some thoroughly exhilarating news, ladies and gents. What's your news, bro? How the F did you get number 1, says Ajigo. It's because he donated $6.99. That's why. Chat, what's saying we trade Teddy Bluger for Max Domi? Can be more, but yeah. Thoughts? Is Max Domi a center? Mike Torrance in the house. Russell! What's up, Mike Torrance? Nice to see you. Connor Gill, Hachiko, your membership isn't dead. It's just missing in action. Laughing. Connor Gill, Swerve and Irvin, I'm doing well, sir. How about yourself? Connor stole my number 3. Pretty good, brother. Connor Gill, Swerve and Irvin, looking to remain on top of Russ and Clay's channel. Winky face. Oh, we're chatting about hockey. Oops, I started chatting about baseball right when I arrived. Dobby is adorable. Gosh. He's right here still, too. He is. Because I've got his bag of treats here, which are one of his favorite things. And we're going to give that to him. Dobby? Oh, yes. What a good boy, huh? What a good boy. Yes. Sometimes I chew on Dobby. So here is the news. Hashtag let Dobby starve. No, that's rude. I'm just here so I won't get fined. I'm just here so I won't get fined. I'm just here so I won't get fined. Dobby, I'm just here so I won't get fined. Era is Hachiko's girlfriend. Mancini isn't going to like that. Laugh out loud. Connor Gill, October 28th, Rogers Arena. I'll be there. Guess the opponent without Googling. Calgary or Edmonton. Am I right? Is it Calgary or Edmonton? Calvin, I don't have a girlfriend. Shut up, Hachiko. Yeah, Hachiko, I'm too good for you. Carson Susie, of course. Better not. Mancini will be mad at you because I will tell. Laugh out loud. Oh, shoot. This reminds me. I need to get my VIP pre-sale for Canucks at Kings November 29th. Swerve and Irvin, there's a bona fide Russian Henrik Lundqvist on that team, eh? On, is it New York? Are you going to be at the New York game? With Jay's closer is good, says Mike Torrance. So he won't crumble tonight. Let's see if we can reward some of these amazing chat regulars, shall we? 10-hour days in this heat sucks. I'm ready for hockey season to start. Now I'm number 7. Paragraph Pro, are you loaded? And then he shows up and he drops 10 gifted memberships. Dustin Boydell dropping the 10 gifted memberships. The line change. Calvin99 Charlie, Mike Torrance, Hachiko, Connor Cahill, Big Hog Hockey, Russ Gorner, Jake's Takes Hockey, Skytrain Alfram, and Thomas Hornbrook, all getting a free gifted membership. Thank you very much, Dustin Boydell. Dropping 10 gifted memberships in the chat. I appreciate you. And we're still going to be putting in a Dobby's College Education Fund until next season starts. And then it'll be going into Crystal's Spa Fund, because with the amount of streams we're going to be doing next year, guys, this season coming, we're going to have to send Crystal to the spa a lot, I think. Dustin, I am in love with you. Thank you. WWW says Big Hog Hockey. Dustin, you're too kind, says Mike Torrance. Thanks, Major. That's a W list of gifted if I ever seen one. Yeah. Ah, Jesus, Dusty. Dubby. My thinking was trading Bluger so Ratu and Sasson can play in the NHL because obviously Carlson has made it. And thank you for the gifted. Yo, I wanted to buy it. Crying. Canucks at Kings are $76 for cheapest seats. Crying. $76. So that ends up being what, like 110 Canadian or something like that. Doing the wave, Mike Torrance. Woo! Close math, laugh out loud. They're a little earlier in the month. You bet the New York Rangers called it. My first team where Canucks play an original 6. Oh, first game. Cool. Canucks at Kings. I could probably pull some strings with a friend that works at SoFi. Okay. So before we get Dustin on here, I'm going to quickly show you guys this list here. All right. So remember what I was saying. All right. So here is a list of all of the players between 2003 and the present. I'm going to get rid of that so you can see it better. Maybe I should move my head too. What do you think? Oh, gosh. Oh, that didn't work. How about this? Okay, let's move my head down here. Yeah, there it is. Okay. So what we got here, everyone loves a good spreadsheet. So this is the top 25 high scoring players between 2003 and the present. So the usuals, right? Connor McDavid, Sidney Crosby, Alexander Ovechkin, Nathan McKinnon, Mitch Marner, Austin Matthews, Steve Stamkos, right? So the highest scoring player before the age of 26 was Connor McDavid in the last, since 2003. So this doesn't include Gretzky because Gretzky is going to be the top of this damn list too. You can see all the way down here, number 25, Elias Pettersson is the 25th highest scoring 26-year-old in the NHL in the last 22 years. Right? Now, let's have a look because he's got 419 points in 420 games. Nice. So PD played 420 games before the age of 26. So if we adjust, because some players have played more, right? Like Connor McDavid played 530 games before the age of 26. Eric Stahl only played 487. Ilya Kovalchuk only played 480. Evgeny Malkin only played 427. All right. So if we update this and make it points per game. So Connor McDavid still at the top. Sidney Crosby, Ovechkin, Malkin, Matthews, Marner, Draisaitl, Kovalchuk, Kucherov, Backstrom, Pettersson at a point per game. Pettersson is the 11th most efficient player before the age of 26 in the NHL currently. Right? So we're talking about the only players that have more points before the age of 26 since 2003 is this list of elite players. So here's the other thing. We also updated it so it's points per 60. So if this player had played for a full 60 minutes, and they would have gotten, so PD scores about 3.13 points per 60, which is still 11th best in the entire NHL since 2003. So a very quick one, but I wanted to show you guys this because there's a little bit of, concern about Mr. Pettersson and what he can accomplish. But I did want to point this out. So even though, if you look at it, based on points, he's still top 25 before the age of 25. And as I said, if we change it up so it's points per game, he is the 11th most efficient player in the NHL for points since 2003. That's not bad, right? Like a little bit of good PD news, because I know we did have that article came out from Pettersson talking about how he wants revenge and all this stuff, right? So I wanted to show you guys because I love spreadsheets, and I made this the other night. I'm like, I can't just keep this for myself. So Is there anyone who shocks you on this? All right. Before we get Dustin on here, let's do our first poll. Because here's my hot take. I think that Pettersson and Besser are going to score 40 goals. So the poll question, do Petey and Besser score 40 goals this year, this season? Yes, no, just Besser, or just Petey? All right, first poll question. There it is. Do Petey and Besser score 40 goals this year? Yes, no, just Besser, just Petey. There's your first poll question. Let's get this back up here. And then we'll hop back over to the bar for a second. I spent 8 hours in the heat at Kits Fest Sunday. Bro, I hope you wore sunscreen. Did you have a big hat on? Girls are the Kings. The Kings play at Crypto. Yeah, they do. Believe it or not, the cheapest tickets for the Panthers at home is $110. In Florida? That's crazy. 76 USD is 104 Canadian. Hi, Dustin Boydell. What's up, line change? Welcome back, Tyler. Nice to see you, buddy. Connor, Canadian or USD? Connor Gale and the Flyers is $40 more than that. Can someone make that make sense? Hachiko, Canadian, mate. I would trade Hoglander and Bluger for Pavel Zacha. Colin Whitehead. Yeah, I did see, what was it? Canucks Digest, I think, was thinking about getting Zacha, I believe. Russ, you nerd. How did you put them stats on this? Well, let's show, because you have a good question. So there's the sheet again. But as everyone remembers, one of my favorite websites to use is StatMuse. StatMuse is great. And this thing is still in the way. So what I did is, if we want to do, let's just say all time, NHL all time point leader by age 26. This website's pretty sweet. So yeah, like I said, Wayne Gretzky had collected the most career points by a 26-year-old player. Now, at age 26. How about that? By age 26? I don't know. It's not doing it right now, but this is what I use. So that's it. Of course, it's like the toddler, right? Who learns a new song and then you're like, hey, can you sing this for the people now? And the toddler's like, no. That's what StatMuse just did to me. Bastards. Let's go. PD played 420 games. Think he smokes? Laugh out loud. No, he doesn't smoke. Line change. What's up, my dude? That ain't so shabby. Hachiko, I found a JB opening at Crypto. Huh. I'm getting us those tickets. Heart? Oh, that's nice, Sarah. Barkov isn't even in the top 20. Isn't that crazy? Almost as if someone who has been banging the don't trade PD drum all this time had a point. You can't job? Laugh out loud. Say job. Why is job start out? Laugh out loud. Who says no Pavel Zacha to Canucks for Hoglander Bluger? I think that might be Hoglander though. Andrew, honestly, PD being where he is shocks me. A little recency bias, maybe. Yeah, I think that might be part of it. Calvin 99 Charlie, I tell you who says no. Big Hog says no. Yep. Laugh out loud. Would like Pinto for 2. Yeah. Shane Pinto might not be a bad. And then Lanky says no as well to Colin. Besser will manage that. PD, question mark? I don't think so, says Connor Cahill. I'm an optimist, so what the heck? Sure, both of them. Never do. Pod's goals in the Stanley Cup Finals, 1. PD goals in the Stanley Cup Finals, 0. Colin Whitehead, we need 2C. Zaka fits the bill and is easier to get than McTavish. Rossi and Roslovic is gold enough. C. For me, I would like us to get either Zaka or Norris. Don't pretend like we can't live without Bluger. Fair enough, Bob Bluger. Bob Bluger doesn't want to get rid of Teddy Bluger. Are you guys related? I like Teddy. I'll keep him. Russ, that was some generational gerrymandering. I know, right? I love a good spreadsheet. Zaka doesn't move the needle for me. Norris, on the other hand, I like Bluger, but we need a 2C, and I don't think Hoglander alone gets Zaka or Norris. Zaka can play the PK, so Bluger would be expendable in my opinion. Yeah, I didn't know he played the penalty kill, so that might make it more interesting. Sherwood should get a good contract if he keeps it up this season. Incredibly reasonable or reliable. The line change, there's a rumor that we are discussing a 3-way trade. Us, the Wild, and Sabres with Hedel, and picks going to Wild, Rossi to the Sabres, and Norris to us. Huh. The chef is out here cooking. All right. So the last thing we're going to look at before I bring on Dustin. So if you guys remember, this was when I had, this is from when I had Mr. Jake's Takes Hockey and Mr. Rev Trev on. So this is their predictions for the individual players. So they were pretty positive, right? So we've updated this a little bit. But let's hop back to the bar, and then I'm gonna get Dustin on the line. I'll put my headset on so I can hear him, and then I'll also test to make sure that we can actually hear him too, because that's happened a few times now too. La 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 la. Oh, wow, your head is so big. All right, let's, there we go. All right. That's better. All right. August 12th, middle of the summer. What better time to talk hockey? So let's get the man, the myth, the legend, the Silver Fox. Just the right amount of scruff. Mr. Dustin Boydell. What's up, my dude?
What's happening?
Oh, same old.
I'm a little extra scruffy tonight, though. I haven't had a chance to trim it up, so hopefully KJ's not here. They'll be let down.
KJ hasn't shown up yet, but I'm sure he will at some point. How are you doing, brother?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Let's get update for the kids on your golf tournament.
Oh, well, first 2 rounds went really well. I played well enough to get into the final group of the tournament on the last day. But battled some wind and rain in that round, and it just tired me out on the last 9 holes. I didn't have anything left, and didn't finish as strong as I had hoped, but finished 6th overall in a very competitive tournament with the best in Canada. So pretty happy with the first 2 rounds that I put up in tournament play, and then really to be able to even be in the group that I was in, I was pretty proud of myself. So yeah, I just know the things that I need to work on a little better, and stamina being one of them. So onwards and upwards to next year and to the next tournament, right?
It seems like you work too hard. You gotta, maybe we gotta get you like some kind of like an assistant to follow you around or something like that. Once we get the budget.
Yeah, I mean, a caddy would be nice. That would be a huge benefit, because it's one thing I've noticed some of the guys that do a little better out there usually have someone giving them a hand with certain things that makes it a little easier, takes a load off a bit mentally. You have someone you can bounce ideas off of and things like that. So I think that would probably be a good step for me, but obviously it's tough for people to take time out of their schedules to be out there with me, but maybe someone will have time next year or something like that. We'll see.
Yeah, I would volunteer, but I know nothing about golf, so I would be a hindrance to your game.
There you go.
There wasn't a random homeless person like to pick up in the parking lot or anything like that?
I mean, I thought that's just how it works from Happy Gilmore 1.
Yeah.
You know, I just assumed that someone would be around, but apparently you got to know a guy.
Fair enough. Fair enough. So we're here to do a little over and under. And as I showed you everyone just before we came on, we did do the over and under for the top 10 for the Canucks already with Rev Trev and Jake Sticks Hockey. So we're going to do the rest of the team and as well Evander Kane, because he is essentially the only new addition to the roster for the year. I didn't include any of I didn't put what's his face? Krastov is not on this list because I doubt he's going to make this roster anytime soon, but who knows? Hey, we're giving it some Canuck luck. So, but here it is. I think you should be able to see this now, brother. So what we're going to do, I got you on the left-hand side here, and then I got me on the right-hand side here. So what we'll do, we'll go through, you can, I'll give you the first shot, and then we'll hip over to me, and then we'll go back to you and back and forth all the way through. And so we have it set up now, so you can tell me how many goals they're going to get, and then how many assists they're going to get. And then as well, if you want, you can say games played too, depending on, Abbotsford guys, how many games they're going to play. Evander Kane, how many games is he going to play, because he's a little injury prone. So, and then as we go through, this will update, and we'll be able to get an optimism scale from both of us as we go through this.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. See how optimistic the two of us are,
Exactly.
All right. So starting off with the latest edition, hopefully a good replacement, a cheap replacement maybe for JT Miller. Oh, and just before we do that, Connor Cahill shows up. Thanks for the gift. Are you loaded like the Aquilinis?
I wish.
Yeah, we'd buy the team and run it better. Thanks for the dono, Connor.
I'd have a better background than this.
It actually it looks very much like your old background now, so it's kind of funny.
Getting there.
All right, so Evander Kane. Let's start off. How many games do you think he's going to play?
Oh, I mean, if I'm optimistic, I think 75 games is probably a good optimistic level for him.
I should also point out this point total that I have for Evander Kane is from 2 seasons ago, because he did not. I was
going to say that's definitely not last year.
Yeah, he did not play last year, so we had to go all the way back to 23-24, where he finished on the 7th on the team, 44 points, 77 games played. So just so everyone knows what we're looking at there.
Yep.
Goals wise, what do you think he's good for?
Oh, I think goals wise, he's probably good for, I'm going to say 25 goals. If he plays 75 games and stays healthy, then I think he'll get 25 goals for the Canucks next year. Just depending on what his deployment is, obviously. There's so much weighing on if Krastov actually makes this team and plays in the top 6 and then bumps Kane down the lineup a bit. It might take away from Kane's production, but I think he'll be used on the power play enough as kind of like a net front guy, the guy that's there to be a big body. So 25 goals is kind of where I'm at with Evander Kane.
Does he match that for his assists, or does he get more?
I think he might get more assists this year, just because he's going to be surrounded with not more offensive talent, because obviously he was surrounded with like the likes of Draisaitl and McDavid and things like that. But I think just more of a balanced offensive strike, given that any line that he plays with, there's going to be a chance for him getting an assist just for being out on the ice. So I think 30 to 35. So I'm going to go like 32 assists probably is my optimistic outlook for Kane on the assist board.
Yeah, so you got him as a plus 13 for points and a -2 for games played. So feeling a little optimistic, but he is rested. So hopefully the old body is ready to go for this season.
Yeah, and he is working out, playing men's league hockey and getting his skating going early in the off season. So hopefully that translates into him feeling comfortable and training hard in the gym, and is ready to go when training camp starts.
I'm not going to say the name of the content creators that put it out, but hilariously, there was an article the other day that said Evander Kane risks injury playing beer league hockey in the summer. Oh my gosh, it is definitely August.
Yeah, it's just Canucks media and Canucks Nation, right? Like they're just they've been hurt so many times. I mean, how often Besser's played the Beauty League every summer except for I think the last two, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's not out of the realm of possibility that these guys who play hockey might want to play a little hockey in the summer to keep the rust off. He's not the only player in the NHL that is playing beer league hockey. Let me assure you of that.
So for me, I feel like Kane, he's going to do something very Canuck. He's going to play 81 games. He's going to almost play an entire season for, I think, the first time in his career.
He's going to have a flu game, right?
Yeah. He'll have one game where he misses it for like flu or something like that, right?
Yep.
Goals wise, I honestly think I'm on a lower side for him for goals. I feel like he's going to be in that 20 range, but I feel I felt like kind of the same as you did. So I almost feel like he's going to have more assists this year. So I feel like he's going to be like a 20-40, which still puts him higher than what he had the previous season when he played. But then, I mean, with the more games played, I think that's kind of where that comes from for me. So I am at a +4 for games and a +16 for points. So I think I'm feeling pretty good about Evander Kane after being a little scared when we first traded for him.
Yeah, I mean, it all boils down to who his line mates end up being. If he manages to gel with Pettersson, they could catch lightning in a bottle for a year here, and he could. I mean, when you look back at his history, the years that he played more than 70 games, he tipped the 30-goal scale. Got real close, obviously, with 24 a couple years ago after playing 77 games. But if you look at his history, every time, the more games he plays, the more he produces. So if he's playing 81 games, it's not crazy to think that he could hit the 30-goal mark, especially if you got guys like Pettersson burying 40 or whatever this offense is doing. If they have a rejuvenated year, everyone could be dangerous.
Yeah, it looks like every time he played around 70 games, 70, 75 games, he had about 30 goals. So not a bad bet. Drew O'Connor. As you can see, hilarious stat, played 84 games last year. So he will not be playing 84 games this year again unless he gets traded midseason. So he will most likely be under. How many games do you think he plays this year?
He's probably a utility guy. He doesn't really risk his body much. Unless he gets sick or something. I don't think it's crazy to think he's one of those just 82 game guys.
Yeah.
I think he's really shown durability throughout his career so far. Young guy that doesn't really get hurt, but he obviously doesn't play the style that's going to attribute to that. So it again depends on some of our younger guys and what they put forward. But just really, he's probably going to be that guy who goes from third line to fourth line to third line, maybe jumps up to the second line here or there if there's an injury. I think it'll be 82 games for him.
What about point totals, goals and assists?
I think he could push closer to 15 goals this year. I think I'll give him 12. I'll give him 2 extra off of last year. I think he's going to improve a little bit. I think this whole Canucks team is going to improve, and obviously he's not coming in mid-season. We'll have a camp and get to know these guys a little better. So I think obviously he'll have a better year. And then for assists, let's go 20 assists. He grabs a couple extra on his 15, just because he's going to probably have more chemistry with whoever he's paired with this season, because he did kind of bounce around when he got here last year.
Yeah, I agree with you on his games played for sure. But something tells me he might be a little bit more of a goal scorer, because I feel like he is getting to that age now. And if we quickly go over here to the Canucks lineup, Mr. Drew O'Connor is coming in at the ripe old age now of 27. So he's kind of hitting that prime age. So I feel like he might have a bit of a breakout. I don't want to say he's going to hit 20, but something tells me he's going to end up in that range of like 16, 17. So we're going to go on the high end for him and go 17. So I think I'm going to pick him as my shorthanded goal guy this year. I feel like he's got a couple shorthanded goals in his pocket. And then assist wise, I think he might actually go like straight across the board. I feel like it might be that 17-17. So about 34 points, goes up by about 9 points. Nothing too crazy. It will be a career year for him. But when he plays every single game, I feel like that's a real possibility. So we both have him at a -2 because he's not playing 84 games, and you have him as a +7, and I have him as a +9. So so far I am a little more optimistic than you, but I might it might be the water that I'm drinking.
I mean, it's overall pretty similar so far. Like,
Yeah.
you know, you only have 3 extra points on Kane. It's the games played that you think he's going to play more.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then O'Connor, obviously, I'd love to see him get 17 and 17. But anything over 10 for him is going to be a bonus going into next year.
So Neil's Big Hoglander struggled the first half of the season last year. Bit of an injury mid-season as well. Did end up playing 72 games, so didn't miss too many. But also got sat for a few games this year. Watched from the press box. How many games do you think he hits this year?
I think he's more up around the 80 game range this year. I think he bounces back and doesn't see the press box nearly as often, if ever. I think he'll stay healthier probably this year, playing a top 6 role more likely than a bottom 6 role. And that'll save his body a little bit from certain situations.
Mm-hmm.
So I do think he'll be able to put up 80 games this year. And obviously the 8 goals last year was not something we were prepared to see after him getting 24 the year before. I really think he'll bounce back big time this year in a top 6 role. And I think he's probably going to be closer to the 25 to 30 goal range, especially if he gets stapled to Elias Pettersson. I think those two, given the chance to find some chemistry, enjoy playing with each other and can find some energy. And I do think he'll be closer to the 25 goal range. Let's give him 26 just to be on the closer to 30 side.
How does he match that with his assists?
With his assists, I think he's going to have quite a few, especially if Pettersson's going to be lighting the lamp, if we're optimistic about it. So let's go 35 assists with his 25
big year
or 26 goals.
Big year for Big Hoglander.
I just think last year his contract kicked in last year, or it's the new contract, right? And he knows he's going to have to perform and bounce back, and it's a bounce back year. He had his down year last year, and I just think he's due to really break out. And I think we're going to have a really cheap production top 6 forward out of Hoglander there at $3 million. He's going to feel like an absolute steal with the production we're going to get out of him.
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty similar to you, I think. I'm going to go ahead and give him I think I'm going to say 75 games. So I feel like I don't think it's necessarily going to be a press box thing. I think like he's going to come out, he's going to be throwing his body weight around. I feel like there might be some rest games, maybe a couple injury games in there for him. But I agree with you too. I think he'll have a bounce back year when it comes to goals. And I think I'm pretty much similar to you. I'm going to give him 25 because I feel like he will see a little bit of time on the second power play unit. So you might see a little bit of pickup from there. And then across the board for the assists, he did have a big uptick in his goals versus his assists because you saw the year before when he had his 24 goals, he had 12 assists, whereas last year was 8 and 17. So it looks like he did increase the assists. I think that trend will continue. So I'm going to give him actually 32 assists for the year. So just a little bit below yourself, but pretty similar at 57 points, an increase of almost double. So that would be a career high. And I'm kind of on the same page as you. I think he maybe gets stapled to Petey, and that might end up causing some really, really good points for him this year.
I like it.
Mr. Calvin 99 Charity asked, how did O'Connor play 84 games? It is because he got traded from Pittsburgh to Vancouver. So he'd actually already played 2 extra games in the schedule while playing for Pittsburgh. And then after completed the rest of Vancouver's schedule, which added up to 84 games. Chaos Giraffe. 71 games played last year. 6 goals, 18 assists, 24 points. Older, maybe more refined than he has been, still trying to get better at the game. where are you seeing him for games played next year? Because I think, what was it? 3 of those were suspension, right?
3 of those were suspension, but I also think a lot of it is dependent on the young guys. I think he might get a little more maintenance time this year. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Tyler Myers right around the same 70 games, but not because of injuries or things like that. I just think that he might need a day here or there where he can't really go, just because he is getting older and he might get banged up here or there. So I'm thinking 70 games for Mr. Tyler Myers next year.
Can he hit 10 goals next year?
I think just the offense is going to be so heavily leaned on everyone else that it could be one of those weird things where he just magically gets double digits. But I think optimistically, we put him around 8, just because he will kind of feel more free to shoot, probably. And give him 8 and 20 assists. I think he'll hit the 20 assist mark.
Yeah,
for sure.
I believe his career high is he had 11 and 10 goals in his first 2 seasons, and he's hit 9 a couple times since then. So it would be pretty much on the high end of where his career has been. And then, sorry, what did you say for assists?
I think a nice 20 assist season for him. 8 goals, 20 assists, and mostly being a stay-at-home guy. But the assists will come just maybe filling in power play time, second, or being caught out there with the right guys. Or dumping it out on a change and getting a garbage assist or something like that.
Yeah.
I think just 20 assists isn't crazy to think for a top 4 guy to just kind of get a couple out of luck.
And I'm thinking the same thing as you. I think there will be more maintenance time. I don't think it'll be as heavy as that. So I'm going to give him 75 games next year. I think, however, because he is the chaos draft, he is going to hit 10 goals this year. Going back to almost his rookie season to get
turning
that
back
total
the
again.
Clock, eh?
And then I'm gonna go ahead. I think I'm around the same as you. I'm gonna give him 21 assists for the year. Something tells me he might get a touch of power play time here and there too. I don't know why. I don't think it's logical in any way, shape, or form. But I just really want to see Tyler Myers as a net front presence. But maybe we'll see that. So 31 points, an increase of 6 points for Tyler Myers with a couple more games played for me. Ratu. Now we're getting into some of these Abbotsford guys. So we did end up playing 33 games for the Vancouver Canucks last year, 11 points overall, 7 goals, 4 assists. The general consensus this summer has been Ratu is going to be, 3C, a 4C, somewhere in there. So how many games does he end up playing for the Canucks next year?
Oh, I think that goes way higher to about the 65 game mark. Might get scratched here or there. Just because it would be his first, this is your full season in the show. But he may need a game or 2 off here or there if he's not quite doing what we ask of him. Obviously, we have Max Sasson that is going to be up with the big club as well, who can fill in the center role if Ratu's not going. So I think 65 games after playing 33 last year is a good season this year for him in growth. And then next year I would hope to expect to see him up back around the 82 game mark. Obviously that's the goal for everybody. You want everyone in your lineup to hit 82, but it just doesn't always happen.
Right. Point total wise, what do you how confident are you feeling? Because he ends up being about a point a game player in Abbotsford. But obviously NHL is a big step. Can he stay in that kind of maybe even like a 0.75 points per game or something like that? Or
so if we're putting Drew O'Connor at 12 goals, I think we got to put Ratu probably around the 15 goal mark. He's got more talent for shooting than O'Connor, and I think the missing out on the Calder run and only kind of getting a quick shift out there really for it kind of motivated him to really push hard, saw the team come together and saw what it meant to win. And I think that's going to get him hungry to kind of help push the Canucks team as well and really solidify himself as an NHL player. So I do think that he is going to have 15 goals. And then with the assists, maybe not quite as much on the assist front, just because of playing in the bottom. Could be on the fourth line. Um, I'd say probably the 8 to 10 assists. So we'll go 9 assists for Ratu
Oh,
next year. Just in the bottom there. I don't know how often. I think him more maybe would be getting a puck and going on a breakaway more often than him kind of setting guys up. So
yeah.
9 assists
I think we're
for Ratu.
pretty similar on Ratu. I feel like Ratu is going to get more games than the 65 that you have him at. I feel like he's going to be more around it's like a 75 because I think
That'd be nice.
I think for him, I would say it's probably one of those, I think more likely to be an injury than anything, just with the depth of the Canucks roster right now. But I think I completely agree on the goals for him at about 15. And when it comes to his, I would say I think he'd get more goals, but I honestly think he's going to end up in that role of being the defensive faceoff guy. So I think some of his ice time might get eaten up because he's going to start from his own zone a lot. But I think that might increase his assist total. So I think I kind of have a similar feeling as I did with Drew O'Connor, where I feel like I could see like a 15-15 with him, just because there was going to be a lot of that time starting in the defensive zone. So yeah, I'll put him at 15-15, 30 points, 75 games played.
Yeah, no, I like it. I agree. If he does get those 75 games, absolutely. With the defensive zone faceoffs, you make a great point. I think maybe he'll be like O'Connor as well, maybe a shorthanded goal here or there, because he's likely going to be on the penalty kill for those faceoffs and things. So yeah, 15-15, I do like that for sure.
Major Minor showing up in chat, gifting a memberships, going up to the king of the mods, Drew Richards. Thank you very much, Major Minor, for the dono, and congratulations, Drewski. You're now a member again of Nothing is Perfect, so that's good to see. Derek Forbort re-signed. Did start the offseason with that broken orbital bone, so I don't know how much that will affect his offseason training, but isn't really known for his points. Had 2 goals and 9 assists in 54 games played last year. Most of those the result of obviously just being out of the lineup. The Canucks defense is very deep. How does that affect his games played total this year?
I think it drops it down drastically. I think he's the new Juleson, kind of the waiting in the wings, but more of a veteran guy who's going to be more suited to kind of come in and out of the lineup. The young guys are going to be the ones that are pushing this defense core. So Forbort, I would expect to be more around the 25 to 30 game mark, being more of a utility guy, being 33 years old. Brought him back for 1 more year just in case. I think he's a security blanket in case Wielander or Mancini need a little extra help or need to take a game off here or there, or a week off even. Then they have Forbort, who can step into the lineup as a veteran, and they know he's going to be great on the penalty kill and things like that. So I think that the 30 games is more likely for Forbort this year. I don't see him playing the 54 again. I just see him a rotation in guy.
Does that result in a decrease in point totals? I mean, he's at 11 points, so not a barn burner, but with a little less played.
We're probably looking more like 1 goal if we're lucky, and maybe 5 assists. So I would say maybe 6 points out of Forbort at a 30 goal pace.
Yeah.
And then we'd be happy because he's not really out there for any offensive reason anyways. Any points he puts up are bonus points. So really, he's just going to be a utility guy this year, I think, and fill in when the young guys are struggling, if the young guys are struggling.
Yeah, I agree with you on the fill in, the security blanket. But I feel like that'll probably, I'm going to say half season for him, because I think with the amount of young guys that we do have, it'll end up being almost exactly a half season. I agree with you. I think he'll get his 1 goal for the year. But I think as the result of playing with some of these young guys on the defensive pairs, I think the assist total might go up just slightly, even though he's played less games. I'm going to put him at about, I'll give him 9 assists for this year. Oh no, that's the exact same. 10 assists for the whole year. So I'm bringing him at the exact same point total, just 1 more assist than he had last year.
Sounds good.
Vittorio Mancini He
Vittorio.
played 31 games last year, obviously coming over in that JT Miller trade. I'm actually surprised he ended up playing that many games, considering he ended up down in Abbotsford pretty quickly, but did end up picking 8 points in that time. What what amount of games do you think he plays? Because obviously he might be rotating with DPD or something like that.
See, that one's the big question. I think it's going to be him and Wielander that kind of get rotated in and out on that right side. I think it's not crazy to think he'll probably be around this 42 to 50 games. Probably more of a half season kind of split with Wielander, see how they go. Because they're both young getting in. I know the majority of those games from last season, he did play with New York at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
Before he even came over. So not a lot of NHL time with Vancouver, but he just stood out like a sore thumb in the AHL playoffs for all the right reasons, in the sense that this kid needs to be in the NHL. So I'd like to see him up around 70 games, but with Wielander coming in and us not really knowing how he's going to adapt to the NHL game, I think we got to be cautious and have Mancini and him kind of a split down the middle. So I'm going to go Mancini. I'm going to give Mancini more, though, just because of his experience. So we'll go 50 games for Mancini.
Perfect. Career wise, he's only played a couple seasons in the NHL. Last year, ends up with 2 goals and 6 assists. Did have quite the point totals down in the AHL. Can he increase that 8 points over last season?
For sure. The kid moves the puck really well, quickly. He's quick with his feet. He sees the ice well. He's got an offensive mind. So I do think that given some time to adapt in the NHL, I do see that more around the 7 or 8 goals. We'll go 8 goals. Optimistic. And probably for the assists, more like 15 to 20. So we'll go 18 assists for Mancini next year, just being optimistic, because the kid can skate and he can move that puck really quick. He's got a good first pass out of the zone, and so I'd love to see what he can do with some of the younger guys. Especially, he's going to have some guys that he's been playing with in the AHL on the big club up in the forwards. So he will have some chemistry with snapping the puck up to those guys. So some good assist totals, I think, coming out of him this year.
I completely agree with everything you said, and thus I'm going to say that he gets 8 goals and 18 assists in 50 games. I think I agree completely with you on that one. So we're in agreement on Vittorio Mancini. Major Minor showing up and donating $2 to say Petey needs a little roid rage on his revenge tour. We'll see if that happens. Thank you very much, Major Minor, for the $2 dono. Hachiko saying Mancini will score 4,000 goals and 6,000 assists. So feeling much more optimistic than me.
Love to see
it. So another guy, Max Sasson, he is waiver exempt, so he can be sent down to the minors. That's probably going to affect the amount of games he can play next year. So what does he end up hacking up here in Vancouver? Because last year he did end up hitting that 29 game mark, mostly due to injuries.
Cool. That's a tough one, man. Because I do think he deserves to be up with the big club. It's just a matter of where he falls on the depth coming out of training camp. I'd probably put him closer to the 35-40 games maybe this season, given that they did give him the one-way contract. He is waiver exempt, but it is a one-way, so they can't just send him back and forth. If he plays X amount of games in the NHL, I believe he would become waiver eligible instead of exempt. So I would say closer to the 40 game mark for Max Sasson this year. I think he's going to be a utility guy for the first bit, and then maybe later in the season with some injuries and stuff, sees more games down the stretch.
Yeah.
And then for goals and assists, I think we're looking maybe 6 goals for him using his speed. He sees the ice well and will get behind some of the defense in the NHL. And with 11 more games, I think he can double his goals. I think he has an eye for the net. And assist wise, Probably right around the 4 again, just because he's going to be playing down in the bottom. And starting in the defensive zone a lot and stuff like that, relying on him to grind and get out of the zone and move the puck. So he'll be moving the puck more with his feet. So 6 and 4, I think, would be good totals for a fourth line Max Sasson next year.
I think his contract screws him, and I think he ends up with pretty much the same amount of games played. I'm gonna give him 30 because I think that it's the jumble in the bottom 6. I think that contract just ends up making him be the first choice to go down to the minors. So barring anyone above him playing terribly and him getting up, I feel like he's actually going to end up pretty much with the same amount of games played. Having said that, then I would say the next year that total probably jumps, especially if he can be a leader down there in Abbotsford. When it comes to point totals wise for him, I'd say it'd probably be pretty similar, right? He'll be that 13th forward or maybe a fourth liner. So I would say if I'm looking at his 30 games played, I'm going to say he's going to end up with a total of 4 goals and 4 assists. So 8 points. So just one more than he did last year with one more game played. So I think that's, like I said, I think the contract is the main thing that keeps him off this team for the most part.
Yep. No, I could agree with that entirely.
Linus Karlsson, the highest scoring player in the history of the Abbotsfard Canucks, signed a 1-year contract with the Vancouver Canucks. He'll be a shoo-in to make the team because if they send him down, he'll go through waivers and will most likely get picked up. Only played 23 games last year for the Vancouver Canucks. How many games does he get into this year?
I think barring injury, we're looking at 75 games probably for Linus Karlsson.
Mm-hmm.
Once Joshua was moved, I mean, Karlsson is the guy that kind of fits that overall skill set. Obviously, a little smaller body weight than Joshua, but still a big guy. And I mean, if anyone broke out in the AHL playoffs, it was absolutely Linus Karlsson. Or not just the playoffs, but in the Calder Cup finals, him and Archdeep Baines just both really put the team on their back and showed up in very big leadership roles. His net front play is really evolved. He's done great to listen to Manny Malhotra and the crew down there to change his game, and I think he's going to just clean up all of that garbage in front of the net this year, and he's going to be an absolute force. And I think we're looking probably, oh man, I'm gonna say something crazy here, but I think he gets 30 goals.
Ooh, there's the hot take. I think that might be hotter than me saying Petey and Best are both good 40.
I just think he does something crazy because he's just gonna be that guy that they go to, especially on the power play. He might end up being the net front presence if Kane doesn't work out. And I don't know. I just have this weird feeling about Karlsson.
Yeah. How does his assist translate?
The assists, he's not as much as the puck mover guy because he is in front of the net. The occasional one will bounce off him, but I think probably more around the 18 to 19 assists total for Karlsson next year. So probably 19. Let's go 19 assists.
Cool. 49 points, not a bad total for a man in his first full NHL season. I feel like I'm pretty much on the same page as you when it comes to games played, so I'm going to give him 75 as well. I'm not as optimistic as the 30, but I still think he is a 20 goal scorer because I think he's going to get the second power play unit time. So he's going to see a little bit of power play time. He'll probably see a little bit of penalty killing, and then assist wise, I think I'm starting a trend here. I'm doing this on a lot of the guys, but I feel like it's going to be like a 20-20 because I think playing in the NHL, I feel like the playmaking abilities that he does possess might come out a little bit more because he is playing with people who have a little bit more skill. So I think he might defer a little bit more now that he's playing in the NHL. So I'm going to put him at an even 20-20.
Yep.
Jonathan Lecker-Mackey played 24 games, had 3 goals and 3 assists for 6 points. But bottom 6 is looking a little jumbled. And I don't know if he has what it takes yet to play in the top 6. But how many games played do you think he ends up with next year?
I think probably around the 30 games, right around that 24 again.
Hmm.
He's gonna come. He's gonna go up and down. I think from the AHL, he's gonna be an injury fill-in, one of the first call-ups. But I think he does need one more year in the AHL because he was injured in those playoffs. Didn't get to see him build a lot of confidence through that run. Um, Still, I think he's got a bit to learn when it comes to the AHL, but obviously he will be the top line winger down there this year and
Hmm.
kind of have all the ice time to figure it out. So if he does blossom quickly, we could see that game total go up. But I think 30 games, 6 extra over his 24 from last year, I think is a good guess for him going into next year.
So another year older, does that increase his point totals as well, goals and assists?
I do think we see him get more than 3 goals in 30 games at the NHL level.
Hmm.
I don't. I think he does get to double digits in 30 games. I think he will score more prolifically next year when he comes up and plays with the big club because he was getting more confidence in that shot down below,
Hmm.
and I think he'll have more freedom to take it. Hopefully, with a new offense structure. So I'm thinking 10, probably 10 and 10 probably for him,
Yeah.
honestly, because he does move the puck well too. So 10 and 10 in 30 games, I think, is a good look for Lekkerimäki if he comes up and can do that. Obviously, if he does more than that, that's what we hope. But I do think he just needs one more year to mature at the professional level.
I feel like in a similar fashion to my explanation for Max Sasson, I feel like he plays a couple games less up here because of the traffic jam and because he can't really play the bottom 6 minutes. I don't think it's going to be a huge cut. I'd say he ends up with about 20 games played because I think it's one of those things where down in the AHL, like you said, he's going to get top line minutes. He's going to get #1 power play minutes. He's going to be the hot dog down there. So I feel like he ends up playing 20 games up in Vancouver. And then I think it'll be limited minutes though. So I feel like he'll end up maybe more with like an 8 goals and maybe like 6 assists. So still decent total increase over last year, double the total in a shorter amount of time. So incremental increase in his output. But I think, yeah, around 20 goals, 14 points, I think, for Lekkerimäki next year.
Yeah, I think that's pretty good. Pretty good guess. Yeah, I think he's a lot going to be injury dependent on how much he plays in the NHL.
Yeah.
So because of the top 6 and the way it's kind of structured right now, and we're not really sure what other trades are going to come down the pipe. I think a lot of guys are going to be on the hot seat in the first 20 games. I think the Canucks will be looking to weaponize that $3 million cap they have with another couple of guys to kind of move out and see what they can do after 20 games, see if they can find a better dance partner. So Lekkerimäki may find his way in after that, but yeah, the 20 to 30 games, I'm on the same page as you for sure.
So Niels Ahmann is like one of the few guys in the Canucks system where I'm just like, why? Why is he here? Because
Well,
he's here.
he's here, but I think he's definitely moved down the depth chart with
Yeah.
the emergence of Max Sasson. That pushed him way down. Also, I mean, drafting Braden Coots kind of put the writing on the wall for Oman as a center that I just don't think he's going to be used that much.
Mm-hmm.
I think 19 games. I think honestly that probably goes down. He's going to be more of an emergency call up, maybe more around the 10 to 15 games. Let's go 13 games for Oman next year.
Lucky number 13. Only with
Yep.
1 goal and 5 assists last year in 19 games played. Very minimal minutes too. I mean, he was playing maybe 9 minutes a game or something like that. Yeah. Does he get a goal? Does he go goalless? How many points does he end up getting?
I think he might go goalless. I just don't think he's. I mean, he might get one if he's lucky, but I'm not optimistic that he will.
Yeah.
Any role he comes into is going to be a highly defensive role, penalty killing, not a lot of offensive zone time. If he is offensive zone, it's going to be kind of pinning it in the corners and making sure that they don't come our way. So yeah, I think 0 goals for Oman next year in 10 games, and 4 assists if we're lucky out of him. Just some lucky bounces or things. But I really don't think we're going to expect much out of Oman in the 25-26 season for these Canucks.
I'm going to give him 8 games. I'm going to give him 1 lucky goal. I'm only giving him 2 assists because he's not playing many minutes. So I'm actually, again, like I said, Neil Lawman, I don't understand. He hasn't shown enough to me to make him anything that I want to see on our NHL roster. So,
yeah, no, I get that for sure.
DPD. I'm not calling him Young PD. That's stupid. He's DPD. He had that name before
Junior.
Marcus Pettersson got here. So, Junior. Elias Pettersson. How many games does he end up playing for the Vancouver Canucks next year?
He's going to be the big jump on that blue line that we'll see from 28. Obviously, what he did last year to step in and really, he fit in right away. We see that more in the 70 game range, I think. He might get an injury here or there or have to come out for maintenance, but I think we really see DPD utilized as the number 5 defenseman in this lineup next year.
Does he increase his point totals pretty substantially?
I don't know if we see a substantial increase in DPD's point totals just because he's not an offensive defenseman. I think maybe 3 goals just because he might fire a puck or 2 at the net, and with increased game play, it's just bound to kind of work out that way. So we'll give him 3 lucky goals, just kind of firing something at the net, and let's bump him up to maybe 10 assists, just given that we're being more optimistic about the Canucks offense next year. So, if you're out there often enough, you're going to get a second assist from time to time, especially if you got a breakout play. You might pass it across to a forward. They might skate it up, and it might be a 2-on-1 or something. So I think just in 70 games, he's going to be out there for enough situations where 10 assists isn't crazy.
I think I'm on the same page a lot of the way here for DPD. I'm going to give him 75 games. No, I'm going to give him 70 games played as well, same as yours. I feel like he gets maybe a couple more goals than you said, about 5. But assist-wise, I don't know if he gets as many, because I think it's going to be similar to what I said with Ratu. I feel like a lot of the time he's going to end up actually starting in the defensive zone. So I feel like that maybe brings him in at about 8 assists, which isn't too bad, but still brings him in at 13 points for the season. So I think that's probably reasonable. Archie Baines, another one of these tweeners. How many games did he end up playing on the big club?
Oh, man. This is his last try, I think, too. So, that's a tough one, man. Archdeep is the tough one. I think maybe around 20. Oh, I don't know, man. Baines is the question mark. Because I'd like to see him up with the big club, but where do you play him now with some of the moves they've made? And there's just such the big log jam in the bottom 6. He's a similar player type to Linus Karlsson, and I think they've kind of made it clear that Karlsson's more the direction they want to go. Injury-wise, let's say he's probably the first go-to guy, or second go-to guy, rather. Probably the first winger they go to. So we'll give him, let's say 15 games, a couple more than last year. I still don't see him being a full-time guy on this roster. I just don't think he has it in him to translate to the NHL level. I think he's just an AHL guy that's going to fill in where needed. I do think he will put up more offensively than the 1 goal. I think maybe we're looking more 4 goals. 4 goals in the 15 games he comes up, and definitely more assists because he's going to be playing with more talented guys when he gets called up this year. So, I think more along the lines of like 6 assists. Just 10 points in his 16 games would be, or in his 15 games would be a good show for him next year.
I think I agree with you on the amount of games played. 15 games played. I think it's going to take injuries for him to make this roster. Unless, I mean, he comes into camp and shows he's better than some of these other guys, but I don't know if he has the, I mean, he is training with Bedard and celebrating right now. So who knows? Maybe he's picking up some tips and tricks. I'm going to bring him in at a season hat trick. So he's going to get 3 goals. And then I feel like maybe 4, 5 assists. I'm going to give him 4 assists. Ends up with lucky number 7 points. So about a point every other game, which I think would be reasonable for a guy like Baines.
Yep.
Kirill Kudryavtsev, very far down the depth chart now because of the depth of our defense. Played 2 games last year due to injury. Does he crack the roster more this year, or do you think maybe he spends another full season down in Abbotsford?
I think we can afford to have him another full season down in Abbotsford. He's going to get more ice time with them next year. Maybe 4 games in the NHL.
Mm-hmm.
We'll give him 1 goal and we'll give him 1 assist. Give him a 1 and 1.
1 and 1. Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm pretty much on the same page with you. I feel like maybe he gets a game here and there, even just as one of those things. Like, you saw it early in the year with DPD last year, where they brought him up for a game where you really didn't think he was going to be the first call up, and he was. I think like that might be the same thing Kirill Kudryavtsev gets that treatment this year, the DPD treatment. So I'm going to put him at the same total as you with 4 games played. I do think he gets his first NHL goal, and I think he picks up no assists next year because he's just so happy about his 1 goal that he didn't need to get anything else.
There you go.
And then
the ability he showed to play at both ends of the ice in the playoffs was huge for Kudryavtsev, because I mean, we all thought he was just going to be an offensive guy. I weren't really sure how well he would do in his own end, but he showed that he can be a 2-way player, and man, with his offensive eye, he can be a weapon.
It's your boy Ty Mueller, who you've been high on for good reason. Does play really good at center, really, really good in the faceoff circle. Might be one of those guys that gets called up before an Archdeep Baines, even though he's newer to the system. Does he end up playing more than Baines next year at 13 games, or do you think he ends up around the same?
I think Mueller's game total hinges on what they do with Bluger. If they move Bluger out, then I think Mueller moves up the depth chart drastically.
Mm-hmm.
And moves more to like the 10 to 15 game total, I think. But given that we are where we are, just to speak in the reality of the situation, I think it's not crazy for him to maybe be in more of the 6 game mark, just coming in for injury call-ups. 6 games, we'll give him 1 goal and we'll give him 3 assists in those 6 games, because he does like to move the puck quickly.
Yeah, I'd say he gets a sniff. I agree with that. I'm going to put him at 4 games, same as Kudryavtsev. I think it's going to be similar where, yeah, let's throw him a bone here and there just to get him a little taste of what it's like to play in the NHL like they did with him last year. I do think it gets his first goal. I actually think he ends up getting 2 in his 4 games played.
I like it.
Which is a goal every other game, which is great. And I think he ends up getting the 1 assist. So not a bad total for 4 games played, but I feel like he's going to come up, bang and crash, and get a really good taste, and then cause some controversy going into the season, the next season, 26-27. So
we're definitely going to have some issues going into the following year for sure with these young guys. I mean, they're the way they're developing is unreal. The growth in the entire team. I mean, we didn't think we had what we had in our prospect pool until Malhotra and company got their hands on those guys. And I mean, it was just a totally different world from January on. And I can't wait to see what they do with some of the other guys coming into Abbotsford next year. It's going to be some exciting stuff. We're definitely looking a lot different from the farm, and a lot. We can breathe a lot easier if someone goes down on the big club. That we will have guys that will fit in and be ready to fit in, just given the way that Malhotra has them prepared down in Abbotsford.
So optimistically, you are 1 game more optimistic for games played. You're 8 games. Oh no, sorry. I'm 1 more game optimistic for games played out of the current players on this list. and you have them with 8 more points than I do. So we're very, very similar with regards to what we think they're going to do next year.
No way.
No
I never would
way!
have thought that you and I would be so similar.
Oh, so there it is, everyone. The over-under for the Vancouver Canucks for the 25-26 season. For a bonus for anyone, I don't know if I've asked you this on the stream yet. Braden Coots, does he get a game in the NHL?
Oh man, that's a tough one. I don't think they risk that, just in the sense that he probably belongs in the WHL for one more year, just where we are with our depth. If he comes out in development camp and in training camp and lights it up, I mean, it obviously poses a difficult question. He puts everyone in a weird position for sure. He's probably one of the most NHL ready 18-year-olds we've ever drafted, which is weird to say, because he kind of flew under the radar.
Mm-hmm.
Being in the WHL, they don't get as much exposure as the OHL guys or the QMJHL guys. He did fall a bit down the pick. Pick list. So the Canucks did get a really good guy, and from everything we've heard, he's leadership oriented. He's kind of like a Bo Horvat style. He's your prototypical second line center. So if Hedl struggles and he's showing out, maybe they do make a move. If he's if he is grossly outgrown the WHL next year and is not getting the type of development that they want, I mean, the only other place he can play is the NHL. So that's one of those weird ones, right? Where he might be too good for the WHL, especially given the way that the Canadian Hockey League is going to change with the skill level and skill gap, with so many players moving to the NCAA. That's going to change things a lot as well. So is the best place for him going to be the WHL? That will have to be seen next year. But if he's, a month into the season and he's got 15 goals and 15 assists and he's just bored down there skating around everybody, then you kind of got to look at our lineup and see if anyone's struggling and if there's a spot to kind of move him in. He's definitely talented enough, so I wouldn't put it out of the absolute realm of possibility. Do I want to see it? No, because that means that someone has been injured and he's got to come in. So I would prefer to see him in the in the juniors. But is it an absolute impossible thing? Absolutely not.
Yeah.
I mean, crazier things have happened to this team, so
Yeah.
I wouldn't be shocked. But I'd probably be more disappointed because it means that something has gone wrong for him to be in the NHL.
Yeah, took the words right out of my head. If there's an injury in camp, like a Ratu or a Bluger gets hurt in camp, and Cooch shows up to camp and plays with his hair on fire, there's a chance he maybe sees 1 or 2 games. But I think it would take something going wrong for him to make this roster. Because that new rule for the AHL doesn't kick in until the new CBA kicks in for the next season. So I could see him being the 19-year-old that they are allowed to put on the AHL team for the 26-27 season.
Yeah.
Dustin, is there anything you want to say to chat before I let you go for the night?
We appreciate all of you, as always, stopping by, taking time out of your busy summers, and hopefully everyone is having a great time. Only a month left until prospects camp, I think, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then another week and we have some preseason games, so getting close. I know we're all chomping at the bit for more Canucks news to happen, but it's nice to see that Demko's have made it back to town and he's going to start training on ice already, and it looks like Petey's beefed up a little bit. He's excited and wants to put the last year behind him, so I think chat, we're in a good place, and appreciate all your comments and questions as always, and look forward to talking with everyone every time we're on. And I hope everyone has a great rest of their week, and we'll chat to y'all soon.
One thing before I let you go: do Petey and Besser score 40 goals this season? Yes, no, just Besser, or just Petey?
I was a yes. If they're stapled together and Besser doesn't have that question mark of he's not getting traded, so he's going to have more confidence this year. Petey's going to bounce back. It's kind of the two of them. It's their team now, right? And on the offense, it's Pettersson and Besser's team. So they're the leaders of that core. So they're going to have to lead by example, and Besser can do it. And I think him and Pettersson together are going to be pretty lethal.
Cool. Thanks, Dustin. Thank you for the time, and I'm sure we'll chat again soon, especially if you guys can make it out for Crystal's birthday party.
Yes, absolutely. I hope we can.
Cool. Awesome. Talk to you soon, brother. Have a good night.
Yeah, you too. Cheers.
Dustin Boydell, the Silver Fox, stopping by to help us out. Always good to see the man. I hope him and Katie can make it out for Crystal's birthday. Yes, it is my wife's birthday this week. She is turning 21 years old. 21? Let's just say she's turning 21, and we'll just leave it at that. Oh my goodness. Yeah, so my wife's birthday is on Thursday, and we're gonna do a party on Saturday. Rooftop patio party. Andrew, oh no, a guy like Kane seeing a guy like Woodsy smash, he will too. Oh. Smash you too. I just think a big body on Heedle's wing would stop the Dickinson type cheap shot on Heedle. I agree with that, Colin. Agreed. Who beat Dickinson up next year? Sherwood? Maybe. I think Kane might be our Grim Reaper next year. Apparently, he said he tried to get close to Petey and Jake got annoyed, trying too hard, I guess. And yeah, I drafted Niels last year and hurt. That hurt. I held on till November. I hope to see him get back on track. Yeah, Todd, I agree. I hope he starts the year better than he did last year. Oh, Kane, sorry, I hate autocorrect. I think DeBrusk and Petey will be fine. DeBrusk also said he signed here to play with Petey. Interesting. He's a 20-goal scorer with fresh legs and room. Chico dropping the membership message. 8 months as a member with the 6 beside your name. Chico, happy early birthday, Mrs. Holiday. And she is not here right now because she is at work, and that's why we're streaming. Let's go, says Zach. Calvin 99 Charlie. There's a podcast on 100% Canucks with Shannon and Ferraro featuring Jake DeBusk, and he said it himself. Yeah. 75. Junior. Junior. I didn't know Petey was Korean. Annyeong haseyo. Amin is a depth AHL guy, in my opinion. Yeah, Colin, we're on the same page. I don't think he ever deserves to be in NHL. 12 days ago. Yeah. Was it 12 days ago he was on? Yeah. It must have been 2 weeks. Yeah. A healthy 78 would be great. Great result. I saw that as well. But in the same interview, he said he signed here to play with Petey. Can we add 8 fights to his to only his stats? Do or die. Bane gets 18 to 25 games, says Andrew. An honest 20, I hope. An honest 20, that could be. Needs more time in Abbotsford. Yeah, a little bit more time to marinate, I think. I wonder if this means he wants out if he can't play with Petey. I don't think so. He's signed here, so. Calvin 99 Charlie, let's go, Dusty! For the gifted, thanks, bro. You're officially better than Russ for points you gave my boy Linus Carlson. Laugh out loud. Unbelievable. On the second line. Needs more time in Abbotsford on the second line. Make him work for the spot. Fair enough. Wasn't just Petey he wanted to come play with. Show his true potential. He also wanted to get away from them stalkers. Yeah, laugh out loud. No, I think DeBrusque like it here. It is close to his family, and I don't want us to move him to either Calgary, Edmonton, and Calgary, Edmonton. So I think he stays, Calvin. DeBrusque also said when he was with Petey, he didn't play his best either and didn't give Petey his best play. So he was supporting Petey, saying it wasn't all Petey's fault. He had this the year he did. True. Petey's fault, not Petrie's fault. Sorry. Jeff Petrie. Maybe Petey can like him by judging the way Petey is. He's Gen Z with a millennial or whatever. They don't mix too well. Yeah, you're probably right. He can still get these hands. Like these hands. I like Petrie's game back in the day. Was a player that Jeff Petrie kind of winged on his exit. Calvin, I think Petey and DeBrusque can get along Clay better than Petey and Miller did. Clef bomb, shoulders, eh? Unheard. Someone compared DPD to a young Bufflin. What? Why would you compare? They're totally different. That's crazy. 9-game tryout for Cooter. That's kind of what I was thinking. Like some little piece of the back of my brain thinks he's gonna make this team, and then they're gonna have to make a choice as to whether or not to keep him. That's some serious sauce. Coots not till 2 years, in my opinion. Yeah, I mean the ideal way is that he finishes his season with the WHL with Seattle, and then comes up to play for the Canucks. So I say he finishes the year in the WHL, and then he plays next year in the AHL, which would be the 26-27 season, and then the 27-20, and then maybe the end of that season he comes up at the end. But yeah, I'd say if we're doing it properly, Colin, it's going to be a 2-year project. The only thing I can say about DPD is I feel sorry for his mom. Laugh out loud, JK. Why? Because of his big head? I heard again. Sorry, I really hate my autocorrect. I can't say I can remember a young, but I'll be Googling that. Really? Bo 2.0? Yes, please. DPD is a big boy, not a trasher. DPD also hits like a truck and plays simpler style to Buff. A simpler style to Buff, in my opinion. Interesting. Todd, but as a Prince George Cougar, as a Blackhawk, it was where this guy come from. Yeah, Bufflin as a Blackhawk haunted the Canucks' dreams. I have a feeling he blows the doors off at camp. Interesting. Next year, like a month away by WHL, CHL standards. Yeah, I think that's what he's saying. Oh, as a Cougar, I heard rumors. If DPD becomes half the player Buff was in Chicago, we have a steal of a player there. Yep. Boo, Blackhawks. Laugh out loud. Says Calvin 99 Charlie. I like Cougars. Chicago Buff was the best version of Buff, in my opinion. Fantasy draft shout out. Van Isle Beauty. Yes. Even better. Cougars liked me. Laugh out loud. Hoping, of course, like us all, deaf. So dank. What nay to Kane? Lucky guy. 21 Savage. So dank. Happy birthday to your wife, brother. Thank you, Colin. I'll let her know. I like parties. I like to party. I like to party. Russ, you're turning Hulk. Laugh out loud. Look at her bush. Does it got hair? Number 9, Gordie Howe. Thumbs up. JK. Russell, would you ever green screen people in for the background of your streams? Kind of like WWE Thunderdome? You mean like if like Trevor Linden finally showed up? What's up, Trevor Linden? How's it going, brother? Or maybe if Lloyd showed up. Hey, Lloyd, can you make me a drink, Lloyd? Oh, God. Lloyd, I'm sorry. Go away. There's dog hair in my mouth. Huh? I'll add, I think Bane gets those games, but it's his last chance kind of thing. Yeah, I agree, Andrew. The 20 games, I mean, are one where penalties don't shorten the bench. DPD is dialed in like Harry Blumpkin on Chell 25. I am Harry Blumpkin. Pekka? Like Michael Pekka? All right, kids. It's seriously, there's a hair right on my tongue. I don't know what to do about it, guys. It's getting, I don't want to pick it out of my mouth while you guys are watching either. That'd be really weird. You are my favorite Canucks streamer. You are so fun to watch, bro. Thank you very much, Colin. I appreciate that, brother. I can't wait for the season. We were live for every single Canucks game last year. We're going to be live for every single Canucks game this year. No, like us on Zoom in the background. Oh, so like put you guys. Oh, interesting. I never thought about that, Swervin. Colin, I appreciate you, brother. I can't wait to do all the games with you guys this year. Just fun to say. And remember, after seeing Lyndon, Pekka, Michael Pekka, swallow. What? I don't want to swallow the dog hair. I don't know if it's still in there anymore. I think I might have. No, it's still in there. Hey, Dobby. Let's get you to come over and say hello one more time. Up, 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 up. Oh, yes, 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 yes. Oh, yes. He was having a nap, but I pulled the treats out and he came running. Oh, yes. What a nice boy, huh? Oh, my gosh. Okay. Thank you, everyone, for being here tonight. Let's quickly recheck. So 40%, 46% of you say that PD and Besser get 40 goals. Just Besser, 26%. No, they don't get 40 goals at 23%. And 3% of you think that just PD gets 40 goals. Interesting. Connor Gill, I'm already bloody ready for the season. Connor Cahill, I agree. Colin be glazing with no donuts. Laugh out loud. Laughing, laughing and crying, laughing and crying, laughing and crying, laughing and crying. I don't want to swallow. To see what Foot can bring the fort. Yeah, I meant Calvin. Most of the streamers are boring, in my opinion. Thank you, Colin. Time for Dunkin' Donuts. We can take another look like the Big Lebowski. I meant it. Sorry. I'm just kidding, bro. I agree with you. What? You think I'm the best too? Woo! All right, kids. I appreciate everyone being here tonight. It's been a lot of fun. Thanks for tuning in. Give Dobby a treat. Okay, I'll give him another one. Dobby, come over here. Swerve Irvin donating $2.79 to give Dobby another treat. Come on, up here, up, 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 up. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, what a good boy, huh? Let's give me a. Oh, yes. Give me a nice close look at my boy, huh? Yes, it's so chunky. Okay, give me a kiss. Thank you. Thank you very much for the $2.79, Swerve and Earn. I appreciate you. I'll probably see you in the Canuck Clay stream tonight because I see you got a big announcement. So make sure you guys tune in Canuck Clay tonight. He's got a big announcement coming out. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Todd, thank you for being here. Doggy, cat and dog treats. Yeah, maybe they're cat flavored. That's why he likes it so much. Anyways, let's call it there. Thanks, everyone, for being here. It's been a lot of fun. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed it. I appreciate every single one of you for being here. And please remember, my name is Russ Holiday. This is Nothing is Perfect. And make sure that you make good choices.